very young. My parents were quite big activists for, not for stopping gay marriages. It was probably the early 2000s when those conversations were happening here in Canada. And my parents were quite adamant on that not happening. My dad used to come down to Toronto and actually hand out pamphlets at the Pride Parade and really try and convince people out of this gay lifestyle.
My daughter is very young. My daughter is only 6. So in terms of our conversations about sex, and actually before I came here today, I spoke to her about it because I know we've had conversations in the past, but I kind of wanted to touch base with her and see what it is that she actually retained.
My mom and I are best friends. She's my best friend, but we do not talk about sex. We have never talked about sex. In hindsight, people always ask me well, if you're so close, do you feel like you should be able to? And I don't think I want to.
No, there wasn't an official moment with my parents. There were bits and pieces. There were definitely conversations about a girl that I grew up with who was sexually assaulted, or if a girl's being yelled at or catcalled on the street. Conversations about that happened, but they were never happening in connection to sex and intimacy.
My mom always talked to me about my period and my body specifically from a young age, but never about sex. But there was this one time when I was talking about Fully Alive, chapter 3, and she said, I was like, oh, and we're talking about a boy's thingy. And she's like, Rebecca, if you're gonna have sex one day, you need to be able to say penis. And she opened up our window, those crank window things, and she screamed into the street, penis, 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 vagina, vagina, vagina. And I was just mortified.
My father grew up in a very troubled life. He came to Canada via a refugee camp in Tanzania, so teaching his child about sex education wasn't maybe at the forefront of his mind.
Spent probably a good amount of my childhood / high school days just praying that I would be cured from being gay so that my family would accept me, or that this religion would work out for me, because it really wasn't. I was pressured a lot to go to church, and I really felt like I wanted to be part of it, but there was also this massive part of my life where I was oh my God, I don't really fit this narrative of finding a wife and having this perfect Christian life and all of this stuff. So first time I ever heard about queer people was from my own parents, and it was a very negative view, and that kind of followed me until I was able to really be smart enough to make my own decision.